What's going on, YouTube? Apologize for that. In case you've been living under a rock today was May 21st, 2013. We finally got our first look at the new Xbox, which has been named it's not the Xbox 720, it's not the Xbox Infinity, it's not even the Xbox Durango anymore, which was what it was codenamed the whole time. No, we got the Xbox One. Going back about 10, 11, 12 years, it was already a fucking Xbox One. It was the Xbox. So, right off the bat, Microsoft, you win the award for the second stupidest name this generation. Nintendo, you take the cake on that one. Anyway, here you can see it. It's the system. Looks like a cable box with a disk drive. That's the analogy I made when I first saw it. If I can put them down here real quick. This is, of course, the rear of the system where they have all the ports. If that would load up anytime now. Okay, so power supply, I assume. Either that or maybe a connection. Maybe the power supply port is over here somewhere. HDMI in and HDMI out. Might come in handy. Looks like an optical audio port. Looks like two USBs. Okay, here I can see the little Connect logo above that, so that's definitely the power. That's definitely the Connect. That's really too blurry to make out right there. I'm thinking Ethernet. And that I have no idea. Let's see if they have a clearer shot of it. That's not much better. This is the first time I'm looking at the back of the console, so. No, I still can't make that up. Okay, so that's the console. Then you have the controller, of course. They stuck basically with the same design, which I like. 360 controller is still one of my favorite controllers of all time. Just because of how comfortable it feels in your hands. It didn't feel as wonky as... This didn't used to feel wonky. When PlayStation first came out and then they brought out the original DualShock, this felt just natural. But after playing with... And I'm kind of tangled in my cords here. Let me disconnect this. Move my mouse around. After playing with this for, I don't know, 6 months or so before I finally got my PlayStation, this just became the norm right away. This was just so easy to hit every button, no problems whatsoever. So, now we have the new one. Same basic design. They did fix the D-pad, because one of the biggest concerns with this was this crappy ass D-pad right here. And it sucked. I don't know if it has, I don't know if it has a picture of the underside of the analog sticks. Looks like your Xbox guide button is now up top more. They've gotten rid of the start and back button. For 2 more buttons. I read somewhere what they did, but I forgot. I'll look it up before the video's over. Let's see if we can get a different view of the controller here. There we go. Here's what I'm looking for. The triggers now have their own rumble. So the triggers go, and now my phone's going off. Apologize for that. Let me mute it. Yeah, the triggers have their own rumble feature now. Not sure exactly how it's going to differ from the rest of the controller rumbling, but I'm sure some games will be able to implement it. This one doesn't show it that well, but so I'm looking for a picture of what they, like the video that they showed at the actual event. Anyway, the thumbsticks look like they got reworked, and from what I've heard so far, they feel more responsive. So that's always nice. I'm wondering what this... Is that the top of the control? Oh, it is. That's the top of the console right there. Okay. So, we have this... What looks like a fan port. Oh, if this would load sooner. Yeah, looks like a fan area to me to help keep it cool. And then the Connect 2.0. They just call it the Connect. They didn't actually say 2.0 or 2 or anything like that. They just said the Connect. But yeah, only one camera this time. From the looks of it, there could be more cameras in here somewhere. It's a really blurry photo. Is this one any better? The camera is HD this time. It is an HD 1080p camera. It's pretty blurry too. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted either. Nope. No. Here's a better look at the controller. This is actually a list of confirmed games that they've confirmed throughout the day. At the actual reveal, all they had was EA came out first, I believe. Not first total, but after they were done talking about all the TV, which I'll get into. EA came out and announced FIFA 14, Madden 25, NBA Live 14. That'll be canceled before the month is out. And UFC. So those are all coming to Xbox. I almost said Xbox 360. Xbox One. And, of course, PlayStation 4. And then throughout the day, all the companies were announcing other games. After that, though, Remedy Entertainment, who was behind Alan Wake, announced a new IP called Quantum Break, and it looked weird as hell. Turn 10 talked about Forza 5, of course, and then Infinity Ward, I guess, debuted Call of Duty Ghosts. There was not one single frame, not one frame of actual gameplay footage. Why? Everything that we saw was cinematic, pre-rendered stuff. What is wrong with showing gameplay at your reveal? I just don't understand it. I mean, they they had this thing pegged as like, this is the day that we're going to reveal the future of, gaming. I mean, it was a fucking god-awful conference. So, I mean, right off the bat, they come out, they say, this is it. It's the Xbox One. Here's what it looks like. And then they show everything. It's got an 8-core CPU, probably going to be made by Microsoft. It's got 8 gigabytes of memory, which is the same that PS4 has. However, PS4, or Sony rather, confirmed that their memory, their RAM, is GDDR5, which is like compared to the it's not confirmed, but they didn't mention what it was. So then the rumors started that they were throwing in 8 gigabytes of GDDR3, which between the two, there's not much difference, but the 5 has much faster memory than the 3. How clear is this picture? Still not clear enough to make out what that is. I just can't figure it out. That's definitely the Ethernet port, which is good news for people who don't have Wi-Fi, like me. Okay, that's definitely the connect, so this has got to be the power supply. So it's got a Blu-ray drive. It's got, as I mentioned, HDMI in and out. 2 USB ports in the back. None of them are taken up by the Connect, which is a good thing. The Ethernet port, the Connect sensor port, and the SPDIF connector, which is right here, which I thought was the optical audio. I guess it's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. Not too familiar with that. Sorry. Okay, it does have built-in Wi-Fi 802.11. As I mentioned, the Blu-ray drive. It does have USB 3.0 support, which comes in handy because it's got a 500 gigabyte hard drive, which is now confirmed. This is why I waited to do this video, because after the conference, the news just started coming and coming and coming and coming. There was more revealed after the conference than they revealed at the actual conference. Anyway, the hard drive cannot be swapped out, cannot be done anything by the user, so no more interchangeable hard drives or anything like that. They're not going to sell you a hard drive. But with the USB 3.0, they have confirmed, which is fine by me, the use of external drives. However, what they haven't said anything about is if you're going to be able to just go to Best Buy and buy a 4 terabyte Western Digital external drive, come home, plug it up, have 4 terabytes in your Xbox One, or if they're going to make you buy the Microsoft brand. You know what I'm saying? It would be a way for them to make more money, but, you know, that's how Microsoft is. So, it is an x86 processor, so it's more in line with the PC like PS4 was. However, they did not say anything about the processor speed, which, again, is going to raise rumors when people figure out that they didn't mention it at all, much like with the RAM. So, it's when you don't say something about something that you did announce. I got a fucking idiot. When you announce something but you don't say what it is or what it does, it's gonna raise eyebrows. Okay, so I've covered everything on that. It's just a list of possible games like Dragon Age 3, Halo 5 we know is coming eventually, the new Wolfenstein by Bethesda, The Witcher 3, which I guess is coming out on consoles as well. Rainbow Six Patriots, which was basically GameStop took it off their website for pre-order, so that game is basically dead in the water, but nothing has officially been announced yet. Mafia 3, which I would love to see, but don't want it to be console exclusive. And yeah. Okay, so we're done with that one as well. Okay, so here we have a chart of everything PS4 and everything Xbox One. So, they got the same drive, Blu-ray, DVD. Both of them have a game DVR, which the Xbox confirmed it will save your footage, and then you can edit it, just like on PS4. It did not mention anything about uploading it. Like how Sony went on with what was it, Ustream, I think. And I hated how they didn't mention YouTube, but then Microsoft didn't mention anything. They just said that it would save your footage. And I believe they said it would upload it to the cloud. So if it does that, I guess that's alright. Maybe we can pull it from the cloud onto our computers. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out more at E3. The RAM, as I mentioned, it's rumored to be 8GB DDR3 for Xbox One. Sony's already confirmed the GDDR5. The CPU, both of them are 8 cores. PS4 is going to use the single chip x86 AMD Jaguar processor, and Microsoft is going to use their own custom CPU. Storage, Sony hasn't said anything about. Microsoft said 500GB hard drive. Later confirmed in the day that it was non-interchangeable, like I said. Second screen, Vita, smart glass. They went on about the smart glass more and more. Nobody really gave two shits. Cloud storage, both of them, yes. Mandatory game installs. Sony apparently hasn't said anything about it, or hasn't confirmed it or denied it. Microsoft did say after the conference that it would require you to install your game no matter what. And then later on in the day we found out that you have to go on the internet. It's mandatory. You cannot get around. You have to go on the internet and put in the code that will come with your game. It's just like on PC. I guess this is a bad example. I got a PC game right here. Battlefield Bad Company 2. You buy the game. You get the. I'm not going to show you the code. You get the code. You put that in, and it's basically just your CD key. And I believe it's rumored. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but it's rumored to be able to play the game without the disc, without using the disc. However, it was also confirmed that because you have to use that CD key and you have to go online to register your game and install it, that not really sure how it was confirmed. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Okay, you will be. Well, that went away. You'll be able to trade Xbox One games online. Microsoft says they haven't talked about how you'll be able to do that, but that's not the same as going to like GameStop trading your games. Like I said, they do require the one-time activation code for use, but you'll still be able to trade and sell them online. Microsoft says, but they wouldn't go any farther than that. I thought this was on Kotaku. It is. Why am I on the Australian site? Anyway. But it says here's how the system works. When you buy an Xbox One game, you get a unique code, like I said, that you enter when you install that game. You have to connect to the internet in order to do it. And the code can only be used once. But once you use it, that game will then be linked to your Xbox Live account. It sits on your hard drive and you have permission to play the game as long as you'd like. This is from Phil Harrison. I think his first name's Phil. Yeah, Phil Harrison. He's the corporate vice president of Microsoft. So this is straight from his mouth. Other users on the console will be able to play the game as well. So if you have like backup accounts, or say like it's a family Xbox, you don't want to have to buy the same game for each profile, that's fine. You will be able to do that. But if you want to bring the game to your friend's house, like anybody that watches my videos knows that I have a friend named Chad. We both had, I don't have it anymore, Xbox 360. And we would, hey man, can I borrow this game for the weekend? Let me check it out. Fine, cool, that's fine, whatever. Go play it, have fun. it saved us from having to buy our own games. You know, he had games that I wanted to play, didn't want to buy. Likewise with me to him. But if you want to do it now, and it's fine to take my Xbox One game over to his house, put it in his Xbox One console, log into my profile on his console, and play it that way just fine. But if he says, man, this game's really badass, I want to borrow it for the weekend, do you mind? Sure, man, no problem. However, it was already known earlier in the day that if you wanted to do that, there was going to be a fee that he had to pay to play it on his console under his profile. Thinking it was a fee like an online pass or something like that, $5, $10, whatever. No, it was confirmed later on throughout the day that the fee is the price of the game. So if he wanted to borrow, let's say, I don't know, Halo 5 when it comes out. If we both had Xbox Ones, I had Halo 5, he just bought his Xbox One, he was broke from that. He didn't want to, or he couldn't go out and buy it, but he wanted to play it. If I let him borrow it, he's going to have to take that disc home, put it in his system, and then pay the full price of that game in order to play it on his console under his profile. So if it's $60, we both had to pay $60 to play the same game off the same disc. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so that's all with that story. But yeah, that's the fee that you have to pay, the full price of the game. I'm going to check behind my camera, see how much time I have left. This is going to definitely be a two-part video. But yeah, like how lame is that? No more borrowing games from friends, no more, I don't know how it's going to work with like GameFly. If you were to rent a game off GameFly and play it, you would have to rent the game off GameFly by paying your GameFly membership, getting the game, putting it in, and then buying the game at full price. That's a waste of money. I'd be better off going to GameStop, buying the game at full price, and bringing it home. So I have no idea what they were thinking, what they were doing. It's really, really, really retarded. There's a big thing on, I think I closed it out already. No, and they're not even being clear right now about the always online. Right off the bat, they didn't even say it at the conference, but off the bat, it was, excuse me, later on confirmed online, it said that it wouldn't be always online, which everybody was like, whew, we're not going to have a SimCity on our hands. And then later on, throughout the day, we get this guy from UK marketing, the UK marketing director from Microsoft, Harvey Eagle, has confirmed that the Xbox One doesn't require constant connection. The answer to the question is no. You do not require an always-on connection to be able to use Xbox One. It is clearly designed to be connected to the internet, and hopefully from what you've just seen, you realize some of the benefits that it brings. So it's not always on, this guy says, but they want you to use it. They want you to be always on. So then later on, and even Don Matrick, who was like the head of like the whole conference itself, he even confirmed that it wasn't always on. But then later on, I'm going to check the time one more time here and see how much time I have left. I got about 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Phil Harrison was back again This guy really fucking things up for Microsoft today. He provided a bit of a muddled clarification regarding the console's online strategy. There are many devices in your life that require. This is what he was saying. There are many devices in your life that require the internet to function. He said, Xbox One is no different than it in that it requires at some point in the beginning and at various times throughout its on state to connect to our cloud and to our network. So he's saying that. And he also goes on to say that it's every 24 hours. This thing requires you to connect to the internet. So at least once a day while you're playing, the console is requiring you to go onto Xbox Live, connect to the internet, so it can connect to the cloud and to their internet. And it even says here that Kotaku's Stephen, butchering this guy's name, Totillo, he pressed Harrison on the specifics of how long it could be offline before the Xbox One stopped you from playing a single player game. And Harrison responded with, I believe it's 24 hours. So if something happens you're playing when the system feels it needs to go online, it's going to stop you from playing your game and basically require you to hook it up to the internet. Which for people on like Wi-Fi, stuff like that, not really a problem. People that aren't on Wi-Fi, a little bit of a problem, especially if your room is disconnected from your house and you only have one internet wire, but you have multiple devices out here. But what about the people in, like, I don't know, the middle of the country, or people around the world in places where, one, the internet sucks, like they don't have broadband in their area, they're still on dial-up, and there are areas out there, believe it or not, that do not have internet yet. So those people cannot use this console at all. You have to connect at least once a day, according to Phil Harrison here, and to play your new game that you just got, you have to activate it online. What the fuck were they thinking? Did they like not realize in their little, where are they, Texas, in their freaking environment, that there's people out there that still don't have internet in this country? I mean, it's ridiculous. I know I'm quiet, I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Okay. Yeah, so I covered all that. Used game fee, we covered that. Backwards compatibility, there is no backwards compatibility with Xbox 360 games, original Xbox, I almost said Xbox One, original Xbox games, Xbox Live Arcade games that you've downloaded. Nope, not on this console. It does have Skype. I think Microsoft bought Skype, so I'm not sure why it says to be announced for Sony.